Yo, man, what's going on? It's Young Lee Jr. So I've been kind of wanting to do this video for a while. You had Tulsi Gabbard. She formerly represented it. She was a Democrat at one point, and she formerly represented the state of Hawaii for 8 years in Congress. But she was endorsing. She endorses Trump. They said she Democrat turned to a high-profile role with Trump's 2024 campaign. Now, she once ran for president. That's how she was rising up, and also too, she was a former military veteran. She ran for president as a Democrat. She was going against at the time with Kamala Harris and Biden, and the whole primary, and she was taking on a prominent role as part of former President Donald Trump's 2024 campaign team. Now on Thursday, she monitored what Trump's campaign is calling a town hall, right? Now, Gabbard publicly endorses Trump on stage in Michigan earlier this week, and she joined the presidential transition with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This administration has us facing multiple wars, according to her, on multiple fronts and regions around the world, and closer to the brink of a nuclear war than we ever have been before. Now, Gabbard said this is one of the main reasons why she decided to commit to doing this all, so she can send Trump back into the White House. We think he's competent enough to stand up to these type of dictatorships, in China and Russia, things of that nature, right? Stop funding these wars in the Ukraine, specifically, and in Israel. And I understand, like, I think about Kamala Harris when she was speaking on the Democrat National Convention. AOC was saying that, oh, she wants to cease fire. I'm like, okay, you seizing fire, but the war's still gonna go on. They did that before. Like, we still funding this, and it's not great for the American people economically wise. But they said Gabbard, military vet, she represented Hawaii in Congress, and she prepares for her first debate against Vice President Kamala Harris with Trump. She's helping Trump prepare for his first debate on September 10th. Gabbard debated Harris and President Joe Biden in the 2020 Democratic primary and made headlines at the time for taking aim at Harris' record as a prosecutor. That's very, very true. Since leaving the Democratic Party in 2022 to register as an independent, Gabbard adopted several views that align with those held by Trump and his Republican allies. Now, that includes opposition to the U.S. support for Ukraine in its fight against Russian invaders, criticism of the criminal indictments against Trump, and statement railing against the so-called deep state and woke ideologies of the Democratic Party. Now, Gabbard is an anti-interventionist when it comes to foreign policy, has accused President Joe Biden administration of stoking tensions around the globe, describing Democrats as a cabal of warmongers when she became an independent. So this war suffering would have been easily been avoided if Biden administration, NATO, had simply acknowledged Russia's legitimate security concerns, right, regarding Ukraine and becoming NATO and things of that nature, having nukes in their backyard. I mean, I think that's kind of, yeah, that's what, Vladimir Putin was like, okay, well, you trying to turn NATO. All right, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Go back to the Soviet type. So we gonna just, we were once, and I don't agree with it. Whatever, a lot of people died, but hey, we just gonna do what we can and just overtake y'all since y'all want to go ahead and just be NATO. And I guess if the administration would have diffused that, they probably wouldn't be in that war in that particular thing because they're right on their border, having nukes in their backyard. They're looking like this is very dangerous. No, and we used to own this land. We're just gonna take it over. Hey, it's gonna be an all-out war, and that's what you have going on. So. She also stated that she shared false information alleging U.S. involvement in Ukraine biological weapons laboratories. Her comments received pushback from the likes of the Utah Senator Mitt Romney, a Republican, who described her comments as treasonous lies that were patrioting false Russian propaganda. So the State Department, around the time such claims were being spread, said the Kremlin was intentionally proliferating outright lies that the United States and Ukraine are conducting chemical and biological weapons activities in Ukraine. So this year, Russia invaded Ukraine. Gabbard made multiple appearances on Tucker Carlson's show. Yeah, she was talking about this, which aired on Russian state media. After leaving the Democratic Party, though, she campaigned for election Daenerys in the 2022 midterm cycle, including Arizona Kari Lake and New Hampshire down Bolduc, both of whom were defeated. Now, during the event for Bolduc, she compared President Biden, who she endorsed in the 2020 primary after boying out the race of Adolf Hitler. Okay. This is some more other things. More recently, she accused Biden of weaponizing law enforcement to go after his political opponent after Trump was indicted on federal charges stemming from mishandling the classified material in his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. At the Conservative Political Action Conference, Earlier this year, she suggested that, like many Republicans have, that criminal charges against Trump were an effort to interfere in the 2024 election. This after Biden dropped out of the race, Gabbard turned her focus towards Harris, though it asserted a larger deep state was at work in the federal government. Biden's out, Kamala is in. Don't be fooled. Policies won't change, just like Biden wasn't the one calling the shots. Kamala Harris won't be either. Yeah, man. So you can see, like, that's it. But my spin on it, Tulsi Gabbard's very vocal, always been kind of vocal. She's on Joe Rogan podcast and all this stuff. I mean, some of the stuff she's saying is pretty key, but this is kind of huge. Like, you got different Democrats, a lot of Democrats, especially the two main ones. Robert Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard is going ahead and endorsing him. To get him in office. Usually Democrats, like, they'll stick together and literally stick to that one party. You think she would endorse Kamala Harris, but then again, too, it's a change. Like Nikki Haley, Republican, supporting Harris. I mean, stuff changes, man. Things will be happening in the back end if someone gets in office, it gets in power. But I always try to remember, like, this has nothing to do with Kamala Harris as a woman and things of that nature. But people always want to say policies. What is your economic policy? So, like, I talked about this, the whole corporate tax thing. She want to raise it up to 28%, capital gain tax 44%. The tax, I think she really was endorsing Kamala Harris was endorsing the child tax for $1,000, like $30,000, something like that, man. Or it was some, I can't remember. I think it was $6,000 credit. I gotta remember. I think it's either $6,000. I gotta get the numbers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but and I think for first time home buyers, give them like $30,000, something like that. So, but the thing is, though, is that going to combat against inflation? At the end of the day, I think Americans want to do is, like, live. It's nothing too complex. Can we comfortably live and achieve the American dream that we worked so hard for? I'm not talking about the legal Americans, man. Addressing illegal immigration, things that has been going on. So many of the borders has been open, and it just seems like they just coming all over it. And you got Trump was talking about this too in Arizona not too long ago, and he was addressing one of the victims of family members from illegal immigrants that killed their family members, and he was just addressing this, like, how this is a huge issue here. We have to strengthen the border. That's what he's going to do in day one. Does Kamala Harris and Walz, do they have a strategic plan for that, man? Because this is the safety of Americans. It's not like we don't want them here, but they have to literally get there, because everybody's not good at the end of the day. Everybody's not good. Everybody have some people have terrible intentions, so, but if we're just so lackluster, man, we putting ourselves in danger at the end of the day, man. But it's just not right for the American people here, but I just think, like I said, this election is going to be very close. People are definitely coming out here and speaking their mind. So it's gonna be crazy, man. But you guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. That's just my thoughts on it, man. Are you guys in agreement with Tulsi Gabbard endorsing Trump? Yes or no? Just let me know. I love you guys, man. Let's have a good discussion. Thank y'all. I'm out. Deuces.